My awful niece smashed my daughter's face into her cake on her birthday out of jealousy and called her the N-word. So my husband made this a night they would never forget. My daughter's 5th birthday was 2 days ago, and it was the most hectic birthday party ever. Everyone arrived relatively on time, except for my sister, who came hours late with her children. I don't want to sound like a mean aunt, but her children are bad, disrespectful, and selfish. My sister essentially messed around and found out. She dropped out of college without telling anyone, and used the money our parents would send her to buy substances. Eventually, we all found out, and because they were her ATM, she went broke when they cut her off. In order to get back on her feet, she hooked up with guys for money. Things went wrong, and she got pregnant 2 separate times by 2 guys who didn't want anything to do with her. She doesn't know who she hooked up with, so she gets no child support from them, and she was left alone to raise these kids. Since they remind her of a period in time where she was at her lowest, she tries to pretend like they don't exist, which is why she doesn't care about how they act. She's also grown to hate me even more than she already did because I went to college, have a high-paying job, and have a happy family. I can tell she doesn't like my daughter, and I didn't want to invite her to the party because of it. But my daughter is too young to understand that her aunt doesn't like her, and sees the world through rose-tinted glasses where the word hate doesn't even exist. The party was going well, and my daughter was having a lot of fun. She especially loved the red carpet surprise we did when she entered the backyard in her dress and heels. I heard my niece ask her mom why she never had that for her birthday, and it actually made me sad. I don't think it's fair how my sister treats her kids, but if I ever tried to lecture her about her kids, she would throw a huge tantrum and call me names. But now that I think about it, I don't think my nieces ever had birthday parties, which would explain why she did what she did. When it was time to cut the cake, my daughter sat in her high princess chair with both of my nieces sitting on chairs on her left and right side. We turned the lights off, lit the candles, and we all started to record as we sang happy birthday. I knew this was a party my daughter would never forget, but not for the right reasons. Just as my daughter was about to blow out her candles, one of my nieces blew it out and the other one smashed my daughter's face into the cake. It was so humiliating and it ruined my daughter's birthday. My husband and I rushed to my daughter and I unintentionally pushed the one that smashed her face into the cake onto the floor. She started crying, but I didn't care. The worst part is that some family members were still recording. I yelled at them to stop, but my sister started yelling at me for being immature, pushing her daughter, and said that my daughter was being dramatic. She said her daughters were just joking around, so my daughter was crying for attention. I told her that her daughters were out of control, and they had no right to do this because it was my daughter's birthday, not theirs. Any pity I had for my nieces quickly left my body as I wiped the cake off of my daughter's face. My husband did damage control by getting people to stop recording and trying to kick my sister and her daughters out without causing a bigger scene. But that didn't work since my sister went as far as calling my daughter the N-word because she's half black from her dad's side. Her daughter started calling her that too, and that's when my husband had enough. He threatened to call the cops if they didn't leave. That's when my sister slapped my husband and said, "You're not better than me, so stop pretending like you are," followed by the N-word with the hard ER. My husband saw red and called the cops. The police arrived and told them everything that happened. We had witnesses who testified, and my daughter was still covered in cake, so they didn't hesitate arresting her. I tried to salvage my daughter's birthday, but she wouldn't stop crying. Luckily, my husband came to the rescue again and smashed the cake onto his face. That got her laughing, and she stopped crying. He told her not to worry, and he would buy her another cake for her. He looked so goofy covered in cake that I started taking pictures of him and her like that. I told her they were matching, and she liked her new look after that. As for my sister, she spent 12 hours in jail, and no one wanted to bail her out. We'll see what happens with her.